Louise Green for MMA Crazy, and I'm here alongside Paul Daley. Now, we just had a big press conference here in London. Can you talk to me a little bit about why we had you here? Obviously, you've got the upcoming fight, and a little bit about what went down.
It was, for me, it was a pretty standard press conference. I was asked questions, I was interrupted, and I responded. But you know, I know he came out with an agenda to try and get under my skin, try and, you know, make me display this erratic behavior and temperament and emotional type of character that he thinks I am. But I feel like I was composed, and I'm just here to do my job, talk about the fight, and February 16th, all the talking's over. Like, I don't need to do that anymore. We're going to fight.
And he had the Tampax out there at the front. Does all that kind of taunting and you know, with the memes and things like that, does that get under your skin, or is it just kind of like whatever now?
It's just it just shows his level of maturity and his level of intelligence. For me, it's just when I'm in a fight, when there's emotions involved, it's an emotion that I'm gonna fight this guy, and it may display itself as aggression. This comedy stuff, it's not me. February 16th, we're gonna fight. I don't get drawn into that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, he's gonna be locked in a cage with me, and we're gonna be trading blows, and we'll see how it goes then.
And talk a little bit about where this rivalry stemmed. I mean, back in 2017, you guys were there kind of sitting across, getting, you know, back and forth into a heated argument. I think MVP said it came from a comment, and then it kind of escalated from there. Can you kind of, you know, tell us a little bit about how this all started?
I just feel like he wants this to be bigger than it is. He needs this kind of, not necessarily motivation, but he needs the kind of emotions that he's trying to evoke with this being a rivalry and a grudge match to hide his own insecurities and his own flaws. Like, for me, it's just a fight, and it's a fight I'm extremely confident that I'm going to win. For him, it's a rivalry, a grudge match. It's not that to me. I said he was Adrian Broner, I was a Floyd Mayweather. It wasn't an insult, you know. Adrian Broner is an extremely talented fighter, and Floyd always said that he was what's going to come next. Now, it just, for Michael to take that as an insult, just shows something that inside of him that was already there, and that was that, you know, it's almost like he needed some kind of certification from me, and in me saying that, I didn't give it to him, and oh, now all of a sudden I'm his rival. But it is what it is. Like I say, that pretty much all of the talking's over. February 16th, we're going to fight. And
why has it taken so long to get to this point?
I just think it's a matter of timing. Like, he's never been on my radar. I didn't, until the whole him being hurt by the comments I made came out. I didn't have him on my radar too much as being a potential opponent. I was focused on making my own path within Bellator, and the constant offers of fighting Michael Page just didn't fit in my timeline. It was just not something that I thought was necessary, until he kind of begged his way into this position, and they sort of created a viable way to make this fight by putting it in the tournament. And you know, it's not necessarily the money. It could be less money. It could just be for the belt. Like, the money wasn't the motivation. It's just that if I want to go on to what I want to do next, they clearly feel like this guy has to be on that path. I didn't see it that way. There was no other reason for not taking the fight earlier on other than timing, and I guess the time's right now.
And this, of course, is a big fight for UK fans. Are you disappointed in any way? I know obviously the fans are disappointed that this is not happening in the UK. Are you at all disappointed that you're going to have to do this fight in America instead of being over here?
I'm comfortable fighting in America. Would it have been better for my friends, family? Like you say, a lot of the UK mixed martial arts fans, would have been better for them. It would have been fantastic. Was I completely disappointed it wasn't in the UK? I'm comfortable fighting in America. Would the build-up have been more interesting? Would there have been more behind it? Had it been in the UK? Most definitely, yes. And you know, it is what it is. I can't look to that now. I've just got to focus on February 16th and, you know, getting the job done.
So this is, you did touch on obviously the Grand Prix. This is the first kind of half of that, if you like. Yeah. How exciting is that for you to kind of get into this Grand Prix? I know there are obviously some matchups that you've had already, some rematches that will be there. But talk a little bit about kind of the outcome of this. Obviously, there's the prize money, there's the, you know, the opportunity of being the winner of the tournament. Yeah. How does that excite you, and how does that motivate you? I love a tournament format. You know, when I started out in the sport as a young mixed martial artist, it was Pride Grand Prix. Like UFC was in the background. So just the fact that I'm in this kind of tournament for me is huge. You know. Yeah, no, you know, yeah, it's massive. It's unique to Bellator as such at the moment. Out of the two major promotions, and they do it great. You know, Scott's got experience doing it from being over at Strikeforce, and his time spent in Japan. He's seen how a tournament can be and how a tournament is supposed to be done, and we can see that with the heavyweight Grand Prix. And I'm extremely honoured to be part of the first welterweight tournament, and yeah, I'm very excited. And talk a little bit about the matchup then. Obviously, he has a very unique style. He's undefeated. Talk about your preparations in the run up to this fight. Have you had anyone to come in and mimic him at all?
Mike said it best. You can't mimic Michael Page as such as a fighter, but what he is a point scoring fighter. They all have their tendencies. They all pretty much do the same thing. In between the dancing and the break dancing, essentially that is what Michael Page is. I've prepared extremely well. I'm extremely confident. I'm very, very composed because I just feel he can't win this fight. And I'm pretty damn sure I'm going to knock him out. So,
in your head, how does this fight go down?
He gets knocked out from a punch, whichever hand it is, left or right. He gets caught on his chin and he goes to sleep.
And then just quickly, obviously, if you are successful and you do get that knockout, like you said, you will then go on to face Douglas Lima in a rematch. Can you talk a little bit, obviously not looking past MVP, but how that would go down a second time for you?
I think Douglas is a fantastic fighter. He's big, he's strong. I think the mistakes in that fight I can correct, namely just being a little bit too keen, starting a little bit too fast and having to play catch-up. You know, obviously he's developed and has changed since then, but I feel like if I do what I seen I did wrong, I beat Douglas Lima.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing this fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.